Alright, here's the next step I'm going to do is put the final drive back on. I put the spine lube on the axle and the final drive, put quite a bit on it, so it should be nice and lubricated. I already put the foot peg on. I just sat it on here and just started the bolts. I haven't tightened them down yet, so I can make sure I've got the wires and hose routed properly, the brake hose. So now I'm going to put the final drive on and go from there. I used a bungee cord here just to kind of hold this drive up so it's not hanging down until I can get the shock on. So here we go. Let's see if we can get the splines lined up. There we go. Okay, I went ahead and put the shock on just to hold that up so it's not pulling down on the boot and the swing arm. So now I'm going to go ahead and put anti-seize on the rest of these bolts and put them in. Just putting a little bit on there. Just work its way on the threads. Like I said earlier, I just kind of started this video just to, in this little series I'm going to try to put together, just to kind of show what you can get for what I feel is a decent price. You know, if you can make a nice, reliable rider out of it for not a lot of money. And there's a lot of people that want to ride motorcycles, but they don't know how to do the service themselves, or are worried about doing the maintenance on them, or the initial startup price, or what have you. But I just want to show that you can get a decent motorcycle for not a lot of money and do the maintenance yourself. I'm doing all this for the very first time, and you know, I have another BMW motorcycle that I purchased not too long ago that it's a R1100R that I'm going to have to do a very similar service to that bike here real soon. And so it's kind of nice to have this older bike that you can tear apart and do the service on and kind of learn what you're doing, and then do it on the next bike too. I love messing with machinery and old bikes and learning from it. So I may not be doing everything right or do it the way someone else would, but that's the fun of learning and learning how to do these things. And so, you know, you feel free to leave comments. I've never done a video series before. I have a few videos on YouTube, but just thought I'd try to put this together and see how it turns out. Alright, so I'm just going to snug these up and then I'll come back through and torque them all. Have a tight fit in here, so hopefully I can fit my torque wrench in alright. And I'm just going to pause it here, get these bolts tight, and then we'll come back. Okay, these final drive bolts are torqued down to 29 foot-pounds. So I've got the two bottom ones done already. Do the two top ones. Kind of hard to fit in there with this torque wrench, but we'll get it. Alright. So they're torqued down, so now we're going to get the rear brake caliper on and run the wires back up for the brake light switch and the speedo drive unit that goes in the back. So we'll hook all those back up and we'll continue on. Alright, now we're going to put the rear caliper on. I cleaned the bolts, put some anti-seize on them, run the caliper up. Get it in there. Now the back one has a washer on it, on the bolt. The front one does not, because the little bracket that holds the speedo wire has a little spacer on it for like the washer. So the back one gets the washer, the front one does not. And we're going to torque these down to 15.5 foot-pounds. Feed this one in here around the shock. Snug it for right now. Sorry, I was wrong. It's 23.2 foot-pounds. Alright, that's done. We're going to reroute these connectors, so don't forget to plug them in. These connectors are a little corroded, so I'm going to go through later on and clean all the connectors on these. This bike was left under a tarp for a while. I guess it protected from the rain, but didn't protect it from the moisture that was out. So I will be going through and cleaning all these connectors and using some electric grease in there to keep them from getting all corroded. Alright, so next up it might be time to remount, take the old tire off, put a new tire on, go from there. I think we're pretty much done with everything. I'm going to put the side covers on and torque all those foot pegs and keep moving on. I did find something pretty cool when I was going through the back little toolbox compartment of the BMW here, that the complete toolkit is still there, which is rare on these old bikes, old cars, to find the complete toolkit. But yeah, it has the complete toolkit is there, so that's pretty cool to have. And also a little mini foot pump, so be nice to have and keep in the back for traveling if you have a flat. So cool little find. I didn't even check that when I first bought the bike, so it was pretty neat to find these little hidden jewels with this bike. I thought I would try a different way to break the bead on this tire. I've got this Franklin portable clamping workstation from Harbor Freight, which is phenomenal. and it's supposed to, the jaws are supposed to squeeze up to 1,000 foot-pounds. So I thought I would try it to see if that would break the bead. I've had pretty good luck with my Motion Pro bead breakers, but I thought I'd give it a shot. I have this piece here, and this thing works great if you're doing things in the garage by yourself or any other projects. I'll see if I can go down so you can see it. But works great, especially when you do a lot of work by yourself. So I'm going to try to break this. I see my battery light is flashing on the camera, so I may run out of battery power, but I'm going to take the core out of the tire, let the air out, and then I'll turn the video back on since the battery's going dead. Okay, I had to go back and forth with it a few times, but it did seem to break the bead loose on the bottom. So I'm going to keep working it around. My battery's running dead, so I'm going to probably have to go charge the battery, but I'll see if I can get this tire broken loose and I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, that clamping device worked great for breaking the bead on this tire. It was super easy. I'm going to do that from now on. Now I'm just going to use some Motion Pro tire irons that I have. I have two, and I use a pry bar as a third one just to kind of help, put it in there for leverage. I don't pry with this, but I use these two as the pry bar, and I also have some rim protectors that I use. Like I said, my battery's dying, so there's how-to videos on how to do tires. I'm going to charge the battery as I take the tire off, and I will show you how I put the new tire on, or at least seat the bead. It worked great last time with the front, so I'll try to show you how to do that on the rear. Alright, here's how I would seat my bead, or how I did it on the last one. Just put a ratchet strap around the tire, and got my little small air compressor over here because I didn't feel like blowing up the big air compressor just for doing a tire. And then I'll take the ratchet strap, tighten it down on the tire. Get it on there pretty tight. And I get soap and water in the bottle. Just lube it up. Lube up both sides. Alright. Got my valve cord out of the stem. And we're going to see if this one goes as easy as the other one did. Work, I'm going to have to put the valve core in. Hang on just a second. Okay, let's try this one more time here. There we go. One side seated. And the other side seated. One more. I stopped the video after I had seated the bead on the tire, and stopped there because the video was getting a little long. And just to kind of recap, what the final thing was left to do was just to put the tire on, and that was pretty easy. As you can see, the tire is on now. But just wanted to kind of go through the video series of just including everything that was done. I wanted everyone to know that the maintenance on these bikes is not that difficult to do if you take your time and do it. Do it right. Follow the book. Follow the manual. Manual is very helpful on this. I'd recommend everyone to get a manual and on these bikes. Like I said, this was the first time I'd ever done this service, and it wasn't difficult. It took me over a weekend basically working on it. I hope you like the videos. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to have a lot more videos coming up. One on doing the fuel, replacing the fuel lines on this bike as well. And I appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, and I'm going to eventually do a video on the test ride on it. So, and maybe do a little review on the bike itself. I mean, it is an older bike. It's a 93, and so you can kind of compare this to a newer bike. Or, if you just like these old BMWs like I do, just have a review and see if you would like to buy one. I'm working on putting together a kind of a blogging helmet, so maybe I can take you on a test drive and talk about the bike as I'm riding it. So thank you for watching.